Park of the Rogers High School for the Section 5 4A Boys Basketball Championship. A spot in the state tournament on the line as the number 3 seed, the Wayzata Trojans, take on the number 1 seed, undefeated Champlin Park. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Ryan Iverson. Ryan, a fantastic year for Champlin Park. I think most people expected they'd be in this game. They had a little bit of a tough time with Centennial in the semis, but came through, and they're here 28-0 and looking to get back to state.
Well, it's unbelievable. I was just talking to head coach Mark Tuckshire, and we were saying the last time they lost was in this very building to go to state last year. So they've had an unbelievable year. They've been the number 1 team in the state of Minnesota all year long. They've beaten a lot of the other best teams in the state. They're just so deep, they're so fast, and they play great transition too. So I expect them to have a really good game and to remember what it felt like last year when they lost this game.
Wayzata may be a surprise to some, but they played very well in their semifinal against Maple Grove.
Well, we saw them earlier in the week beat a very good Maple Grove team, and you talk to their coaches and their team, the 2 words that keep coming up, Jay, are confidence and trust. They believe that they belong here, and they don't even believe that. They believe they can win this game. They've been playing great since a late season loss against Eden Prairie. They've really turned the corner. They're averaging in the mid-70s. They shoot the ball well. They're very deep and balanced. So two teams that very well deserve to be here.
Talk about key players, starting with Wayzata. Jack Sawada was really good the other night. He's been good all year.
He had 17 first half points. He's a pure shooter. But what he does more than that too. He's got a great shot fake, and he can create for his other teammates as well. And they have really 4 guards that all play hard, they're quick, they can drive, and they're unselfish. They look for each other, they trust each other, they know where each other's going to be, and they play really well.
And for Champlin Park, certainly one of the best guards in the state, JT Gibson. They've got a good team all around, but he's probably been kind of the leader of that whole bunch.
I just think of him, I think of just a spark plug. I mean, he's so fast. He gets defensive rebounds. It seems like it takes him less than a second to go in transition and get all the way to the other side for a layup. He's averaging just under 19 points. He's a great distributor. He's worked very hard on his jump shot. He's a complete offensive player. Champlin Park needs him to be aggressive because everyone else follows his lead.
Kind of interesting to have a new matchup, I think, in this one, too. A lot of times in these sections, we've seen teams that are in the same conference that are real familiar with each other. To me, an unknown game is kind of fun.
Yeah, I think Wayzata, too, coming from the Lake Conference, they're used to playing very good basketball against Hopkins and Eden Prairie, Minnetonka, all teams that are ranked in the top 10 as well. So they're used to having big-time atmospheres, big-time crowds, and big-time moments. And like you said, neither of these teams, they haven't played this year. They're not overly familiar with each other. So there's that little bit of nervousness factor when you're playing someone new, but I think it leads for a great title game matchup.
All right, Champlin Park trying to stay unbeaten. Wayzata looking to pull off another upset. The Section 5 Boys Basketball Championship up next here on 12 Sports.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Welcome back here to a rapidly filling up Rogers High School as Wayzata and Champlin Park starters get introduced to the crowd here. Definitely more Rebels fans, it seems. They have been had such a tremendous season. Here's the starters for Wayzata. 4 juniors and a sophomore: Johnny Benninga, Gavin Bumgartner, Jack Sawada, Austin Slater, and Troy Luanji. And for Champlin Park, 3 seniors and a pair of sophomores. They've got Marty Hill, Jeremy Johnson, and JT Gibson, all seniors. And then the sophomores, McKinley Wright coming back off an ankle injury, and Theo John. Joining us on the sideline tonight, John Jacobson. Let's go over to John.
Thanks, Jay. Well, long before there was a Rogers High School, long before there was a Champlin Park High School, and long before there were 4 classes of boys basketball in Minnesota, there was 1 class from 1913 until 1970. You have to go back to 1959 to find the last time Wayzata qualified for a state tournament. They've been in 3. That year, they won the 8-team tournament, 1959 state champions, beating Carleton in the title game 55-41, trying to end a 56-year drought here tonight. Champlin Park's program looking for their third state tournament appearance and their first since 2010. Jay and Ryan, back to you.
Thanks very much, John. And it's better to have an old tradition than none, is what I say. This is what I always say about Gopher football. The people that say those national championships were a long time, that's true, but better than nothing, right?
No,
and that's what Wayzata, they at least have that history a long time ago.
Absolutely, and I want to take a minute, too, and congratulate John Jacobson today at 25 years of Channel 12 TV. I think John was probably covering that 1959 state championship game, but no, you're right. It's two teams haven't been to the state tournament in a long time. You have Champlin Park on one side, who felt like they should have maybe got there last year and really been on a mission all year long. The one thing to keep in mind, Jay, and we've seen it doing a couple Champlin Park games, is they sometimes start slow. They'll let teams hang around, and then it's all of a sudden they turn the gas on and are able to finish it, just like their semifinal game where they trailed at half to Centennial and then turned the gas on. I think Wayzata is too good of a team. If you let them hang around the way they shoot and the confidence they're playing with, this one could go down to the stretch.
That's the fun thing about a team like Wayzata. Nobody's told them they're not supposed to be here. I mean, they're playing with confidence. They don't have seniors. I think in that way there may be less pressure on them. It's not the last game in high school for any of their players, no matter what happens here tonight.
And I can tell you, too, from experience, when you're the #1 team in the state and you are unblemished, it's a lot of pressure to perform and to get there. Otherwise, you feel like it's a disappointing season.
So look at how these two teams advance to this spot. Champlin Park blasting Cooper, then had to fight past a very physical Centennial team in that semifinal. And Wayzata, not too much problem with Park Center, and then played, I would guess, one of their very best games of the year in beating Maple Grove by 15.
On the road, too, and they had to overcome a monster performance by Brad Davison in doing so. And tonight they're facing a team that, one of the things about Champlin Park is they're very balanced, and they have a number of guys that can put up big points in a hurry. So it's going to be a much different defensive matchup for Wayzata tonight.
And we are underway. Theo John controls the tip. Champlin Park has it first. Wayzata out man-to-man. Right,
one of the matchups right here, Jay.
And John missing it, and then it went off his fingertips and out of bounds.
Austin Slater's 6'8", Theo John's 6'8". Height-wise, very comparable. I think Austin Slater's got a little bit of size and strength on him, but Theo John maybe a little bit more athleticism. So that matchup could play a very decisive role in who wins this game.
Certainly overall, I think Wayzata would prefer a slower tempo than Champlin Park. No secret there, but we'll see if that means that they're going to hold the ball for stretches or just, they've been very good at moving the ball quickly. Now, if a shot presents itself, they'll take it, but if not, they'll continue to probe that defense.
Well, I think one of the strengths for this Wayzata team is the way they space the floor. You're going to see 4 guys around the perimeter. Austin Slater can step out and shoot the jump shot. The question is, are they going to be able to beat Champlin off the dribble? Champlin has so many good athletes. Johnny
Benninga shooting just barely grazed the rim with that one, and Slater unable to save it. So it will be Champlin Park basketball. Each team with nothing to show for their opening possession. Certainly some jitters. I think that's natural for everybody on both these teams.
Well, another thing to keep in mind, too, for our viewers at home is the depth perception's a little different in this gym. There's a lot of space behind the baskets. If you're not used to that, that can throw you off as a shooter, too. We'll see which team is able to adjust to that quicker.
Jeremy Johnson, a pull-up, bounces around and drops.
It's always nice to get that first basket in a big-time game, and Jeremy Johnson, he used every inch of that rim, too, and able to get a nice roll.
Benninga drives and dishes. Sawada not able to hit it. Fight for the rebound, won by Gibson. Wright had it slip away, but he retrieves it. Again, 25 in blue. Wright's the guy playing with a ankle injury. In and out for Johnson, and Slater boards it.
Even though Champlin didn't get a quick shot there, you can see how fast they pushed the ball. Had McKinley Wright not mishandled that pass, they would have had a 2-on-1. You've got to stop the ball when you're guarding Champlin Park. They create turnovers like that and turn it into points quicker than any team in the state.
Going to be a foul on Sawada as you get a look at Mark Tuxerer. 9th season as head coach for the Rebels, and in the section final a year ago, as we said, lost a tough one to Osseo, but this year they're coming in as the favorite, certainly.
Yeah, he's done just an amazing job. He's a former teammate of mine. Great coach, but just really a great person. These kids love playing for him. And he makes it fun, and they like the style that he coaches.
Johnson, another miss. Benninga pushing it to Slater, looking to attack on John, and then to throw it out to Luwaji. Benninga gives it over to Austin Slater. Picks up his dribble out high. They get a little bunched up now. Baumgartner trying to direct traffic, and Benninga comes down to get it. John is defending Luwaji at this end while they've got Jeremy Johnson out on Slater. Slater is more of a perimeter player than Luwaji. Back across, Benninga fires in and out. And it lines up with Sawada. Sawada has it blocked by Theo John. Wow.
Well,
not too far from being a goaltend, but he got up there to get that one.
No, I mean, that looked like he had a jetpack underneath him. Look at how high he goes up to get that. That's what he brings to this table. When he gets in early foul trouble, Jay, they're a different team defensively because he attacks the rim. And actually, I thought Sawada was fortunate he didn't get called for a travel or a charge on that play.
Jabbed away, Gibson all the way, and he'll throw it down. Rebels up 4-0. Their fans are jacked up for this game, no question about it. Sawada way across. Baumgartner the fake. Now he'll pull it up. Short with that. Gibson boards it. Here come the Rebels. Jeremy Johnson lost the handle, and Baumgartner recovers.
I thought that time a nice job by Baumgartner to stop the ball. That's the key. Stop the ball before they get into the lane because they're so explosive. They can finish at the rim or they line their shooters on the perimeter. That's the key, is stopping their transition.
Inside to Slater, fouled from behind by Marty Hill.
And there you can see the reach from behind. Marty Hill slapped that ball through, and JT Gibson, look at the athleticism, only 6'3", but explosive. And that's what they want. Defensively, they're going to gamble. They're going to try to get steals. They're going to trap you. Because if it can get them out in transition, they feed off of easy baskets.
Wayzata finally getting on the board on that Austin Slater free throw here, and it's 4-1.
Yeah, I think that's a matchup. Austin Slater, I think, has to be huge tonight, just with his size and the way he can score inside and out. I think Wayzata's got to play through him, and him being aggressive is going to open up some of their other shooters.
Goes 1 for 2. Gibson stops, pops, and hits for 3.
You know, it comes down to, Jay, how do you defend him? I mean, he's so explosive, and you got to, you know, he can shoot well, too. He's really improved on that. So you get up on him, he blows by you. You back off of him, he's able to bury a 3. Just very, very hard to guard.
Get a hold call on the Rebels away from the ball, it looks like. They will pick it up. There's a look at Brian Schnettler, the Trojans head coach in his first season. Hill picks up his second foul right there, so Aaron Kleppner will come in number 11, excuse me, for Champlin Park. Slater with it out on the wing. Johnson defending him well, and he travels.
Yeah, and Coach Schnettler is letting him know. I mean, that's Austin Slater's got to just reverse that ball. He's trying to dribble like that with a guard guarding him. There's no reason for that. And that's one thing we've seen time and time again. Champlin Park, you can't give them free possessions. You've got to make the most of your offense and get good shots off.
7-1 Champlin Park lead. They haven't started all that quick either, but certainly more so than Wayzata. Theo John with the turnaround off the window and good.
I like what he did too, Jay. He just kept it simple. 1-2 dribbles. He just jumped, extended. There's no one in this gym tonight that can guard that. If he keeps it simple and goes right at the rim and elevates, he's such a great athlete. Only a sophomore, getting some big-time Division I looks already.
Inside to Slater, missed it and close. Goes again, blocked but fouled. I think it'll be on John there, as the official saying caught him on the side of the head. And that'll be the first on Theo John. Slater maybe showing a little nerves on the inside one here.
And watch Theo John here. One easy dribble, he just jumps and elevates. Excellent move. And on the flip side, I like Austin Slater. Missed his first one, but he kept attacking. And I think that's the key. If he can get Theo John maybe in some foul trouble, like I said, Champlin's a different team when Theo's not there to protect in the rim.
Ryan Lindbergh coming in for Wayzata. He had a nice game shooting the ball against Maple Grove in their semifinal.
He sparked him. He came in there late in the first half, into the second half, knocked down some big jumpers on the road. He was huge on Tuesday.
Slater this time makes them both. He has all 3 of Wayzata's points. Inside, John missing it. And they've put a mystery extra point on the board for Champlin Park.
9-3. You know, and Theo John that time, that was a nice move. He drop step to the baseline. He just had to flip it into his left hand. I think if he just turns and elevates and shoots, there's no one that's going to block him. He's got to trust that and trust his athletic ability.
Baumgartner from the corner, skims out, no good. Gibson running it back. Gibson, jump stop, no good. Wright trying to dunk that rebound. I guess his ankle's all right. Then a foul on the rebound as Slater, I believe, knocks, no, it's not going to be Slater. Sawada knocked John down.
Yeah, I mean, there's Gibson. Look at him attack that basket. And how about McKinley Wright getting up there? As soon as he landed on that leg, though, he came up a little gingerly, was limping a little bit. That'll be something to keep an eye on because McKinley Wright's been absolutely huge for this team this year, averaging over 14 points, but also 6 assists, 6 rebounds. He does a little bit of everything. And if he's slowed down a little bit, I think that could be a big part of it.
Sawada checks out with his second foul. Ty Galinsky, and here's Wright, a pull-up jumper, won't drop. Wright goes down, as did the defender. Now here comes Benninga. Across to Slater. Neither team shooting, especially Wayzata, not shooting well, haven't had a field goal as of yet. Into the lane and across. Lindbergh kicks it over for Benninga, firing short with that one. And Gibson will get it. You can see they're having to rush their shots because Champlin Park closes so quickly. Over to John for the dunk.
What a pass. JT Gibson with a no-look. Just talk about trust and knowing where your teammates are. Timeout Wayzata. What a beautiful pass. And Theo John certainly knows what to do with the ball. When he catches it, no one's in front of him. A big power slam. Beautiful play. You can see at the last second, Gibson turns over, recognizes Slater coming over for the double team. I mean, that's just unbelievable basketball. And what makes that play, Jay, Johnny Benninga's got to stop that drive. You've got to stop penetration with Champlin Park. Not only really all their perimeters can get to the rim, but they're also unselfish. And they all shoot the ball. So you almost got to pick your poison and make a decision, take something away from them that they do well.
Here's the teams that are playing for section titles tonight or have already advanced. Apple Valley, Roseville, Hopkins, and St. Michael Albertville already in Class 4A. And we've got this final tonight, of course, along with Andover St. Francis in Section 7, Chaska Shakopee in Section 2, and Lakeville North versus John Marshall in Section 1. Back into play here, 8-point lead for Champlin Park. Very slow start for Wayzata, and the Rebels now going 1-3-1, it looks like.
Yeah, I always like that. Coach Toucher does a good job of that. All the timeouts, he'll switch his defense up, expecting that the other team is coming out with a set play.
Gibson pushing it back, and layup, no. Offensive foul on Gibson.
Well, I like Baumgartner, who stood in there and took the contact. The only thing I thought Baumgartner was underneath the basket. You see how deep he is. That's always a tough call, but you certainly love sacrificing your body for your team. Sometimes little plays like that, Jay, can propel you into some momentum change in baskets.
Lindbergh over to Benninga, driving at baseline. Oh, a quick little release on the finger roll, but it would not drop. Wayzata cannot buy one so far. Right, open, in and out. And a foul on John as he came over the back of Slater. And that will be his second.
And those are the kind of fouls that I know Coach Toucher appreciates the effort, but Theo's got to know with one foul already how important he is to what the Rebels are doing. You just got to let that one go. Give it a little effort, but abstain from making that kind of foul. The other thing too, Wayzata they're rushing everything they're doing offensively. Even that layup by Benega, it's kind of a quick floater. They got to just settle down, play basketball, and when they do shoot, take good shots, take your time as well.
Benega missing another one. Johnson rebounds. Nick Hayes, number 10, is checked in now for John for Champlin Park. Rebels turn it over, though. Alex Jensen's in number 11 for Wayzata. Galinsky missing. Here comes Jeremy Johnson to Wright. Wright for the layup. It's good.
Yeah, excellent pass from Jeremy Johnson to Wright. And that time Benega went for the steal on that pass, gambled and missed it. And those are the kind of points you can't allow Champlin Park to get, those uncontested layups in transition. I think that the shooting, the depth perception is throwing Wayzata off. It's primarily a jump shooting team.
A foul away from the ball here on Wayzata as Johnny, no, actually it's going to be Jensen in the illegal screen trying to free up Benega. That'll be his first. I also think they're really being bothered, though, by Champlin Park's quickness. What they feel like is an open shot all of a sudden turns into a not-so-open shot.
You know, and that was the difference. Maple Grove game on Tuesday, they were getting wide-open looks with no one, you know, within 5 feet of them. Champlin Park is closing out relentlessly on these shots. And that's where you got a shot fake and maybe get something going to the basket.
Hill, a contested three there, would not drop. Under 10 to play now, first half, 13-3 Rebels. Benega pulling up, won't go. Hill climbs the ladder. Wayzata has still yet to make a basket. In some ways, they're lucky they're not behind by even more. Here's Gibson letting it fly. That's good for three.
That's just great basketball. You can see Marty Hill drove to the middle. It was almost like a dribble handoff. And JT Gibson's so fast, and he can go from running full speed into his jump shot so quickly that if you're not there, he can elevate, shoot right over you. And the difference, too, is Wayzata's having to work so hard to get contested jump shots, where Champlin Park's getting a number of easy looks.
Get a foul against Champlin Park as Luwaji made the pass. Hayes will pick it up. Another look at that last bucket.
Yeah, and look at Marty Hill go behind his back here, draws the defender, almost sets a screen on JT Gibson's guy, and he sprints off of that and gets squared up and knocks it down before a defender can recover. Excellent offense.
Jonathan Johnson checks in for Champlin Park, number 13. Here's Lindbergh letting it fly. Short with that. They still can't buy one.
And what's hard, too, you don't want to give Champlin Park too much of a lead because they're so good offensively. It's a hard ask to come back on them when they've built a lead.
Luwaji picks this one up.
You could see his hand get caught there on the ball. And the other thing Champlin does, too, is they don't let up. They just continually attack you.
Around the horn, Jeremy Johnson. Luwaji blocks that one.
Now, great contest by Luwaji that time. See how he closed out, able to use their height. And that's one thing, Wayzata may have a height advantage. They got to use that on offense. He's got to go to work. Beautiful up and under.
There's their first bucket with 8:36 to go in the first half. Luwaji getting it inside.
Well, and what a great poise, too. A great up and under shot fake. Champlin may be a little more athletic. That's what you do when you're guarding an athlete's playing defense on you. You use shot fakes, ball fakes, back doors.
Well, what they also did there, too, was they've been settling for virtually all perimeter shots.
Yep. Yeah, I thought maybe their strategy tonight would be to play through Slater or Luwaji and use that size advantage. You can see, even though he scored that, he didn't want to attack the basket. He was trying to pass that around on the perimeter, and a second nature finally squared up and made a beautiful move. If I'm Wayzata to get back in there, you're only down 11. You have one field goal halfway through the first half, so you're okay. But you got to get some easy baskets. I'd play inside out rather than outside in.
Luwaji sits down with his second foul. Parker Hlavacek will check in. We did not see him in the semis. Here's Gibson firing from the wing again. Nothing but net. Gibson with 11 already for the Rebels.
Yeah, and you guard him, and you got to help on the other guys driving, so you forget that they can all shoot the ball, and you leave a guy like that open, he's going to knock it down.
Gibson will let it rip again. No good this time. Sawada rebounds. Wayzata looking to push. Sawada across. Hlavacek will kick it corner. Baumgartner down the baseline, held by Jonathan Johnson.
And again, good things happen when you attack the basket. You can see Benega got sucked into the middle trying to help. Left JT Gibson open for another 3, and he's off to a great start. He's got 11 of Champlin's 19 points.
Wright checks back in here for Champlin Park. Baumgartner to the free throw line here for Wayzata. They have got their work cut out for them, to say the least here. Very slow start. Baumgartner's free throw is good.
But really, the last 2 possessions, Wayzata played inside and were able to get their first basket. And that time, Baumgartner attacking the basket, able to draw the foul, and they got points out of it.
19-7 Champlin Park as Hill now will back it out, looking for a screen from Hayes. Hill stops, kicks it baseline. Jonathan Johnson up in traffic, fouled by Austin Slater. That'll be his first.
I thought Jonathan Johnson had nowhere to go right there. He just exploded. Oh, very athletic and able to draw the contact. Wayzata saying that, hey, play with your hands straight up. There was no contact there, but like I always say, referees will reward you when you attack the basket.
Johnson's free throw is good. Second one, also good for Jonathan Johnson. Champlin Park up 21-7 here. 7:20 to play in this opening half. Slater wanting the ball inside with Hayes on him now, with John sitting with a couple of fouls. And right through Hlavicek's hands as Baumgartner saw him open there, but he couldn't haul it in.
See, what I'd like to see is Austin Slater hold on to that ball, maybe ball fake it, get some one-on-one position there and go to work. He's got to take advantage of Theo John on the bench with 2 fouls. And if he has some luck with that, he'll force double teams, and that's when you'll get open jump shots for his teammates. I think he's got to be more aggressive down on the block. Use his size right now.
Hill's going to stop and fire. That's an air ball. Hayes, though, able to save it off of Slater.
What a hustle play, too. An air ball. Not only was he able to stay in bounds, but that's not easy, being able to time that throw and get it right off the guy's legs. Excellent play. Austin Slater just got to get your hands ready, try to catch that. Every possession is big, especially if you're down 14 to the #1 team in the state.
Jeremy Johnson catching it out on the wing, looking to drive it, and going to be, I believe, a charge, it looks like, on Johnson.
Well, you can tell Wayzata, some of their game plan is on these aggressive charges. We may get beat. We need that second line defense to slide in there, stand your ground, take charges, maybe take some of that aggressiveness away from the Rebels. Excellent team defense by Wayzata.
Still just 1 field goal for Wayzata. They're down 21-7. Benega has been cold here. He's gotten up a number of shots and had some tough luck and just hasn't been able to get him to drop.
Nice.
Inside here to Slater, off the window and good.
Nice, I love what they were doing right there, and Lindbergh did a great job. He looked off the defender, and they were fronting Slater, and he, beautiful post feed. And they got to keep going through Austin Slater right now with Theo John out of the game.
Right, getting a high screen, now over to Jeremy Johnson. Nice shot fake, and it's in and out though, and Slater boards it. Benega looking to run it back. Lindbergh stops, fakes, and fires and hits.
Great shot fake. Lindbergh again, like he did on Tuesday, providing a nice spark for Wayzata. And I like what Benega did there. He's pushing the transition. You know, just because you're playing a team that's great in transition offense doesn't mean you can't do that as well.
Timeout taken here by Champlin Park as that pass was about to be made. 21-11. Wayzata showing a little signs of life offensively and fighting back to within 10 as you see Lindbergh.
Yeah, look at that great shot fake. And again, you get the feeling too, Jay, that they're not as aggressive as they were the other night. You can see even Lindbergh almost hesitated before looking to score. Sometimes you just got to let it fly. You got nothing to lose. And a lot of times you'll see that. A team in a big game, they'll get down early and all of a sudden the pressure's off. They play loosely and they're able to make a run. And I think right now, Wayzata is already playing with house money. No one thought they could be here. they're all young. They don't have a senior on the team. You have nothing to lose here. Play your best, and then at the very least, you can walk away knowing you gave it everything you got.
Well, and sometimes, you know, you hate to fall behind by a big margin anytime, but sometimes when it happens real early, you still have time to recover from it. I mean, if this was to start the second half that they were that cold, they'd be completely out of it.
Yeah. And Wayzata coming out in a 2-3 zone, out of the timeout.
Wright is left all alone for three, but it doesn't go, and Baumgartner grabs it.
And really the biggest difference now is Champlin's missing some of those perimeter shots that they were knocking down earlier in the game.
John is back on the court here for the Rebels.
And you know what I would do if I was the Trojans? I'd go right back to Austin Slater on field John.
Benninger, floater hard off the glass. Gibson to Jeremy Johnson. Now back out Gibson. Faulkner's wide open on the baseline. Won't go. Good block out by Lindbergh. They head to Benninger. Around Gibson. Wild shot. Baumgartner, though, rebounds and is fouled.
Yeah, Baumgartner's played very well here. He's been sharp and giving them a spark. You know, and Benninger, I like the attacking. He's attacking the basket hard. He's just got to get his legs, get his feet set, maybe gather himself and slow down. It looks like he's playing a little too fast right now. And you can play quick. I always teach our kids, you play quick, but you don't play fast. Make your move quick, but be slow on your shot. Make sure you take a good shot.
Baumgartner misfiring on the free throw. Galinsky comes back into the Wayzata lineup. And second one is good for Baumgartner, so he's 3 out of 4 at the line now. 21-12 our score. Sawada comes back in, so both coaches have, you know, guys with a couple fouls saying, you know what, we need them out there. If they get a third, we'll probably change our mind. But I think sometimes coaches go overboard with trying so hard to be worried about fouls that you have your guys sit so long.
I agree, but if I'm Wayzata, I'm attacking Theo John.
Gibson nails another three, his fourth of the half.
He's got 14 points already. He's coming off, and that's a sign of confidence when you just catch and shoot just like that. And his makes, Jay, haven't even hit the net practically.
It's Gibson 14, Wayzata 12, and then he has 10 more points from his teammates also. Sawada back out top to Lawaji. Lindbergh cut off. Johnson moves his feet so well.
Well, it's something to think about too is Klopner, who's 6'3", is guarding the 6'8" Austin Slater. Slater's rotating around on the perimeter. Oh, beautiful spin.
Woohoo! McKinley Wright.
And he grimaced too after that. That ankle's bugging him. But it sure didn't look like it on that spin move. Wow, was that explosive.
26-12, and then Wright getting his hand on the arm. Another look at this great move by McKinley Wright.
And it just sets it up perfect. He gives that initial lean towards his right, comes back with his left. What I like that spin move, it wasn't going away from the basket. He continued his path through the basket. And their guards are so quick, and all of them can make moves. They get matchups that they like. I mean, most teams don't have 4 guards that can stay with all of them. And they find a matchup they like, and they just attack, and they never let up.
Another good thing about Wright is he spun at exactly the right time, too. If you do it too early or too late in your relation to the defender, it probably isn't going to work nearly as well.
No, he timed it perfect. He set it up first, too. Just a great move. Only a sophomore, too.
26-13, Champlin Park. Been in command. Wayzata, terrible start offensively. It's shown a little sign of life. Gibson shooting, no. Slater and John fighting for that one, and neither got it.
Well, smart play by Theo John. That's a play early on. And finally, the lid comes off on the perimeter, and Sawada's fired up. The Wayzata fans are fired up. They know how important it is to get him going. He's been so hot the last few games. Scored over 20 points in 3 of their last 7 games.
John missing inside as he tried to body into Slater there. Now they go into Austin Slater. Back out. Lindbergh for 3 more.
Isn't it funny, Jay, how that's contagious? One guy breaks the lid all of a sudden. everyone feels like, okay, we're back. And I like that. They played through Slater. I thought Slater got rid of that a little too fast, but either way, they're playing inside out, making the defense move and able to get some good looks.
Wright turning the corner, and a blocking foul on Slater. That'll be his second.
Yeah, and there's Benega pushing it, and I like Sawada. Hands ready, catch and shoot, didn't have to think about it. Here they kick it back out, and Lindbergh knocks down a big three, playing through Austin Slater.
McKinley Wright to the free throw line here. He has 4 points tonight. Again, coming back off an ankle injury. Didn't play the other night, but looking pretty good out here so far. Free throw is good. Hayes comes back in. They'll sit John down and try and keep him at 2 fouls here heading into the second half.
Yeah, you got Sawada and Slater both with 2 fouls coming out of the game, and Theo John out with 2 fouls.
Wright, second free throw, no good. Tip loose. Klopner winds up with it after Hayes fought for it. Gibson down low. Klopner layup good.
Yeah, Klopner, he deserved that one. He's the one that hustled, kept that one alive, extended the possession, and a great unselfish play. And that's what you love about Champlin. JT Gibson probably could have shot that. Instead, he gets an unselfish play. Beautiful pass.
Lindbergh this time too strong with it, and Gibson out of there. Jab loose from him. Now the scramble's on, and it winds up with Klopner, but he missed it. Hayes able to save it, but right to Lawaji. Now Jensen attacking, and fouled by Jeremy Johnson. Pretty much had to go at the basket there if you're Jensen, even if you might get your shot blocked. And instead he draws a foul.
6'6", again, great effort by Champlin. Klopner missed the layup there. Jensen's able to attack, and I like the foul too by Jeremy Johnson. Forced Wayzata to go to the line, earn it, rather than giving up an uncontested free throw, and it pays off.
Jonathan Johnson will come in, as that was the second on Jeremy Johnson, so he will check out here as well. Jensen in and out with the second. Lawaji grabs a rebound though, and that one won't drop. He gets it again. Denied by Klopner. Baseline for Benega, no good. Wright rebounding it. And then a foul on the way out.
We're going to get that on Lawaji, I think, is it? Or is it on Baumgartner?
Baumgartner instead,
I was going to say that was going to be 3 on Lawaji. I'll tell you what, Lawaji missed those layups, or missed one, had one block, but I love the way he attacked the basket, and Benega just can't get anything to fall in this first half. He's got to keep playing aggressive, keep getting those. That was a good look. And they need his attacking ability, his confidence to get back in this game.
Wright short with it, a big fight for the rebound. It winds up right back with McKinley Wright. Gibson's 3 won't go, then we get a foul against Champlin Park in the scrum for the rebound. Looks like it's going to be on Klopner.
Well, and those are big fouls. These are obviously, they're going to be shooting the double bonus from here on out. So those, getting 2 free throws 90 feet away from the basket, that's just great effort by Wayzata.
Last foul actually on Jonathan Johnson, be his second. So a minute and a half to play as Baumgartner goes back to the line and hits. You can tell Wayzata's really put a big emphasis on blocking out. I mean, even more than just your normal game, you can see that they know the Rebels are very good at hitting the offensive glass.
Well, when you're playing an athletic team, and when I say athletic, I mean at all 5 positions. Champlin is so quick and agile and can leap. You've got to put a body on him or you'll lose those one-on-one rebounding matchups.
Right to the hole, and it won't drop. Jensen rebounds.
See if Wayzata can get Benega a good look here before the half. See if he can get one to drop.
Way across into traffic. Ill-advised throw there, and Gibson out of there with it. Gibson through the defender's legs to Jonathan Johnson.
I don't know if he tried to do that, but you couldn't time it any better. Right between the defender's legs, Johnson able to catch and finish.
And in and out, won't drop there for Lindbergh. 31-21 lead here. They've screwed up the scoreboard big time. Seems to happen every year here. I hate to say it, but it's true. Rebels are going to hold for one.
Yeah, they're going to get some good spacing. They'll try to get one of their quick guards in a high ball screen. See if they can attack and either create for someone else. Wayzata able to get a turnover. Plenty of time left here. You don't have to force it.
Baumgartner hits a long bomb for the Trojans.
How about that?
And they are within 7 at halftime after it looked like they might be blown out early. They have come back to make some things happen, and they get a bomb at the buzzer by Baumgartner.
Look at how deep this was, still way beyond the three-point line. And that's huge. Not only does it cut the lead to 7, but that kind of momentum, a big shot, you get your crowd fired up. Halftime's going to be fired up. And I think Wayzata, for only making 1 field goal in the first 8 or 9 minutes, to be down 7 against the #1 team in the state of Minnesota, I think they should be awfully proud where they're at heading into halftime.
So 31-24 lead.
Yeah, and you got to figure, I mean, 10-point lead there, time running down. Champlin, you assume, is going to get the last possession. Turnover into.
Let's go over to John.
All right, thanks, Jay. Coach Tucksher, 7-point game at halftime. What are your thoughts on the first half?
I thought our defense was pretty good. We broke down a couple times, and they hurt us with their threes, which we knew they could. And I think we did a nice job of blocking out and forcing tough shots early. But, you know, they hit about 3 threes, kind of uncontested there, and that big one at the end. So got to come out and defend the perimeter a little bit better second half.
Offensively, anything you change up?
We'll go inside a little bit more. We got to move the ball a little bit better. You see when we move the ball in transition, we're pretty tough. So got to continue to do that.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Halftime score here, 31-24. Champlin Park leading Wayzata. It's a Section 5 4A basketball championship game live on Channel 12. Well, more from Rogers High School after this. Timeout, timeout, timeout.
You watch Channel 12. Channel 12 is on. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
The great outside.
We both love the outdoors.
It's so shiny.
That's not a flower. We both love geology.
Oh, look. An igneous one.
That's not a rock. And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
That's not a dog. Hanging out has been kind of fun.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Welcome back. Both bands from both schools here tonight. A big crowd on hand. Champlin Park dominated early. Wayzata fighting back, and they get a long three at the buzzer to pull within 7. So we check out our first half highlights in this one here in the Section 5 final. Jeremy Johnson stopping and popping here, bounces around and drops, but he had a quiet first half. That was the only bucket for him. And a great block by John right there.
Not often in high school basketball do you question a goaltend. He was up there, no question.
Gibson getting a breakaway jam there, and he shot the ball well for the most part in the first half as well for Champlin Park. This time stopping in transition and knocking it down. He had 4 3-pointers in that first half for the Rebels, and obviously playing well defensively too. Here was a great dish he had to John. And for a stretch of the game, you just thought Wayzata could do nothing right offensively. You know, were they ever going to be able to get back in? But that changed later in the half. But for early on, it was definitely all Rebels.
All Champlin. Champlin getting transition, open threes, attacking the basket. Wayzata taking contested jump shots. That was really one of the first times they went inside to Austin Slater, and I thought that was a big turning point when they started playing inside out.
Gibson knocking another one down, that time from the baseline. That Wayzata, that hoop we just saw, they went nearly 10 minutes without a field goal in this game. McKinley Wright again playing with that ankle injury, but definitely had some good plays in that first half. But then later in the half, Wayzata started knocking down, well, first of all, getting a few open looks, but also knocking him down. Suwata, there was a great pass. Gibson to Jonathan Johnson.
Well, you're seeing a lot of JT Gibson, whether it's him hitting threes, attacking the basket, or making plays for his teammates.
Baumgartner with 8, 5 each for Lindbergh and Slater for the Trojans. Gibson 14, and Wright with 5 points. John and Jonathan Johnson each had 4 points for the Rebels. We'll be back with more of our live coverage here from Rogers High School in just a moment. 31-24 Rebels.
Here.
Michael Adams.
Here.
Michael Adams.
Michael Adams.
Students who miss 18 days of school in any grade risk falling behind and not graduating. Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today.
Welcome back here to Rogers. Let's go over to John.
Thanks, Jay. Coach Schnettler, you don't score a basket for the first 8.5 minutes, yet you're only down by 7 points. How do you feel about your team's play overall?
We look like we did our first game of the year. A little bit nervous, but our guys responded. I thought the reason we're in the game is our half-court defense, and I absolutely know that our guys are going to make shots in the second half here.
How big is that basket in that sequence at the end of the half when they've got the ball holding front, you come back and get the 3 to cut it to 7?
There was a big stop. Gavin Baumgartner took 2 huge charges and then came out with a big shot. That's a big momentum shot, and I think it took the lid off for us.
Good luck in the second half,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Jay and Ryan, back to you.
Thanks very much, John, and definitely more signs of life in a big way at the end of the half there for Wayzata, Ryan.
Well, and he talked about their half-court defense. I thought it did. It got better as the half went on, and he talked about Baumgartner taking those 2 charges. That took away some of Champlin's aggressiveness. I think the key, if you're going to have a shot to beat Champlin Park, 2 things have to happen. You have to slow them in transition, which they got better at, and 2, you got to score the ball. You've got to be able to keep pace with them. And Wayzata, they're too good of a shooting team to not get a basket for 10 minutes at a stretch. So I agree with Coach Schnettler. I think they're going to come out, they're going to shoot better. And you're halfway through it, Jay, so you can say, we didn't play great, we're only down 7 guys, we can play with them. We can maybe even beat them, and that confidence starts building, and that's when you start making big plays.
So a 7-point lead here for Champlin Park. We got a head coach of a tournament team across the way as the Novaks are here. Ken Sr. on the left, Ken Jr. on the right. Boy, that was a heck of a game in that Section 6 final, wasn't it?
On Wednesday. The best thing about Coach Novak is you never know he's a coach of a really good basketball team. He never looks excited when he's winning or when he's losing. If you talk to him, he'll say, yeah, this year our team isn't that good. But guess what? Another year, another state tournament appearance, and his kids certainly deserve that. They made some big plays down the stretch against Eden Prairie.
We'll take a quick timeout and then come back with our second half here from Rogers. It's a 7-point lead for Champlin Park.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Welcome back here to Rogers. Champlin Park leading at 31-24. It's always interesting to see what adjustments have been made at halftime of these games a little bit too. You know, you have a game plan coming in, but you see things on the court and maybe change things up a little bit. And interesting to see too if Wayzata's rally put, you know, any kind of doubt in Champlin Park's kids' minds a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm sure it does to an extent, being that, hey, you know, here we go again. We're in a championship game. We lost it last year. You know, as a coach, I'm sure Coach Tucker got all negative thoughts out of their mind today. We didn't play great either, and we're still up 7 guys. You know, and that's the other thing. Champlin doesn't adjust. They haven't had to all year long. They beat you playing their style, and they force teams to play their style. The question is, second half, can Wayzata play their style and stay in this game?
Sawada was leaning backward, missed that one. And a steal. Here goes Marty Hill to the hoop and rolls it in.
That's unfortunate for the Trojans. Great offensive rebound by Slater, and he turned, and right as he threw it, he knew. Not a good pass. It leads to an easy break the other way.
Baumgartner stolen away by Wright with quick hands on that kick out to the wing. Gibson across the hill, leaves it for Jeremy Johnson.
Good D. Great man-to-man defense by Benninger there.
High screen for McKinley Wright. Now goes to Hill on the left wing, and that's short. Benninger rebounds.
And we saw it take quite a while in the first half for Wayzata to get it going. See if they can break that lid, and they do. And I'll tell you what, I think Wawaji's had a big-time game, and when he's aggressive and he's another low-post scorer there, great offensive rebound. Didn't hesitate, went right at the rim.
Back to a 7-point game. Gibson. Pass was tipped. Hill will run it down, and then Benninger bumps him and will be called for the foul. That is his first.
There, Benninger, who still just can't quite find his rhythm on his jump shots, but Wawaji able to clean it up and finish for the offensive rebound.
John kept it alive, but Wawaji rebounds for Wayzata. There's having that kind of that second post player there.
Yep. And again, McKinley Wright is guarding Austin Slater, giving up probably about 8 or 9 inches. And that's where you'd like to see Slater demand the basketball and be able to score down low, where then it could open up some easier looks for their shooters.
Slater inbounding. Baumgartner pops free, but missed the shot. Tipped up, no good. And then rebounded by Gibson.
And that's a good effort by Slater. He tried to tip it. I thought he could have just came down with it.
Gibson explodes to the hoop, and the left-hand layup is good. It's back to 9.
I mean, he's like a running back that hits a hole, isn't he, Jimmy? You see the lane open up, and he just one hard dribble, and he's all the way at the rim. Very explosive player.
Sawada kicking it over to Slater. He'll shoot a 3, way short. And out of bounds off of John as it was tipped by a Wayzata player, then hit Theo's hand.
Look at that, one hard, all the way from the three-point line, dribble left, all the way to the basket. Someone for Wayzata has got to step up and either take that charge or at least contest it.
And there's a steal by Gibson. Great hands, gets it across to right. He'll go to the hoop, blocked though by Baumgartner.
Well, lucky that Theo John didn't pick up his third foul there.
Benninga looking to turn the corner off the glass. He still cannot get one to go.
I just think he's rushing his delivery on his shots. He's getting to his spots. He's got to take his time and settle down and just...
Over to Theo John, layup and one on the feed from right. As John had the ball chopped away, but he stayed with it and guided it into the hoop.
You could say he guided it or the ball just happened to go off the backboard and into the basket. But that play was made by McKinley Wright, who's so quick, able to beat his guy. And I'll tell you, Theo John, since earlier in the year, has done a nice job as he nails the free throw for the three-point play. He gets himself ready so he's in position to score off of those feeds from his guards, and he certainly can finish at the rim.
12-point advantage here for Champlin Park. Lindbergh is checked in for Wayzata. Baumgartner down the baseline, kicking it to Lawaji from 15, and that's good. It's like he's realizing, hey, I can shoot this ball too. Johnson over to John, he hammers it.
So what's happening, Jay, is the guard that's on the weak side's got to drop down and take those easy passes because the guards are beating their defender and they're dropping it out for Theo John because his man is coming over to help. They need to have a second layer of help coming down to take those easy buckets away.
Lawaji at the high post. Lindbergh around to Benninga.
And you can see these are plays where they were getting open looks on Tuesday. Champlin just too athletic, too quick. They're taking all those easy shots away.
Baumgartner scoop wouldn't drop, and the Rebels pushing it back. Here comes Gill all the way. Offensive foul.
Well, that's the third charge that Gavin Baumgartner's taken tonight, and those are big, big plays. And you can see Marty Hilt going all the way to the basket. Those are so tough to call. I mean, that ball, Baumgartner almost underneath the basket. But I'll tell you, give Baumgartner credit. He's taken 3 of them tonight. Those are big defensive plays, big team defensive plays, and can be big momentum changers as well.
Benninga hits the front court with the Trojans down by a dozen. Gibson out hounding him, and he forces a turnover. Thrown away behind the cutter there.
Yeah, I mean, Benninga's used to being able to beat his defender, kick it over to a shooter. He's having trouble getting by that initial defender. And when they are driving and kicking, there's a Champlin defender closing out on it, so they're taking away a lot of these easy looks that Wayzata's used to getting.
J.T. Gibson behind a screen nails it. It's a 15-point lead for the Rebels. Timeout Wayzata. So Wayzata had that run at the end of the first half, but the Rebels have come out and really taken control back again.
You know, and you might be at home watching and saying, well, how can you leave J.T. Gibson wide open? He's hit 4 threes. The problem is the play before we saw him attack the basket so quickly that you got to respect his drive. You back up just a little bit and he's able to hit a 3. Here was a penetrating kink. That was the second consecutive possession where Theo John got an easy basket off a great guard play, great penetration and kicks. So tough to guard. They can hurt you in such a variety of ways too, John. They can drive, they can shoot, they got inside presence, they can get you in transition, they can play with poise, they can slow it down, they can really do anything, and that's why they're 28-0 this year and ranked number 1.
And I think in some of these cases, Wayzata, they know what they should be doing, but they're just not, getting there quick enough until some of these times to cut off some of these things that the Rebels are able to do.
Hey, there's a lot of players that played Michael Jordan that knew what they should be doing against them, and that's doing it and knowing what you're supposed to do. They're 2 very different things. But hey, we saw Wayzata regroup in the first half and close it down. They've proven the ability to knock some big shots down. They can score. They just got to start playing better, settling down, and knocking down some of these shots that they're getting.
Can't afford those turnovers out on the floor either, like they've had, which led to transition the other way, which Champlin Park is very good at. And here's another one. Right, giving it to John. Spins, scores. Beautiful move.
I mean, how do you defend that? You get a 6'8" sophomore who catches the ball, dribbles with his left, quick spin, and then looks like he has a trampoline underneath his tennis shoes. There's
another turnover. Here's Gibson to Jeremy Johnson. Right, back for Gibson. Extra pass, Kleppner open, and that one won't drop.
But that sums it up. JT Gibson has hit 5 threes, passes up a good shot. So Kleppner could have a great shot. Just unselfish basketball.
Baumgartner, a little hesitation move, and he gets all the way in for the layup.
He did a great job. He shielded Theo John with his body and finished with his left hand. Excellent move. And again, Jay, it was going to the basket. When Wayzata attacks, they've had good things happen tonight.
Turnover there by the Rebels. Wayzata looking to take advantage. Baseline, and there's 3 more for Baumgartner. He is at a nice game, 13 points, including that buzzer beater before the half.
Couple of big threes. He's taken some big-time charges tonight. And that time I liked what Bennigan did. He penetrated. First half, he would have maybe tried to force a bad shot there. Instead, makes a great play for his teammate. Baumgartner knocks down the 3. And just like that, the lead's back to 8.
Champlin Park looking to spread the court. Maybe use a little time, but more so, I think, just get Wayzata spread out and look to attack.
Yep, they spread it out. They try to get a matchup they like. Now they have 4-round 1 with Theo John down low.
To Gibson for the layup. Boy, that possession couldn't have worked out any better for what they wanted there.
Take about 30 seconds off, 5-6 passes. Everyone touches it. You go inside, you get a great cut, and again, another unselfish pass.
And it also kind of killed a little bit of momentum that Wayzata looked like they were getting. Baumgartner's bank won't drop. Gibson rebounds, and here the Rebels come. John, oh my, one more time.
And that's, you got to sprint back. You got to take those plays away. That's the center beating the other guy down the floor and getting an easy. Oh.
John got a big piece of that one, but it goes in anyway. Bennigan's first basket should be given an assist, and John should get the hoop almost. He knocked it in. And there's Kleppner knocking it down.
And guess who made that play? JT Gibson again. A beautiful hesitation move, attacks, makes the unselfish pass.
And 28 other teams this year know exactly how Wayzata feels right now, because this is what Champlin Park does to you. They put together runs, they get turnovers, they get out and run, they hit threes, and all of a sudden it's a lopsided game again.
Yeah, and that time Theo John just beat Luwaji down the floor. Easy dunk. JT Gibson kicks it out, and Kleppner finally buries down a 3. There's just so many weapons.
Slater inbounding it for Wayzata to Baumgartner. Lindbergh kicking it back out. Galinsky will shoot up a 3, and he hits.
Well, we saw Galinsky have a big half the other day playing defense against Brad Davison. Now he comes in right into the game, buries a big-time 3.
14-point lead for the Rebels. John getting a breather. Hayes has been there in that post spot, sets a screen for Gibson. Now back out to McKinley Wright. Benninga up on him. Wright dishing for Hayes, couldn't handle it, but he keeps it. Jeremy Johnson cut off. Good idea there. I mean, you attack, but if there's nothing there,
you
bring
don't
it out.
force anything. They come to a jump stop, so you're not getting caught in the air with the ball.
Gibson driving it. All right, drives into traffic, blocking foul. He's able to squeeze between 2 and get, I believe it'll be on Slater.
Well, that's going to be his 3rd. But, you know, you couldn't have played better offense in there. I mean, very good poise, took in a lot of clock off. But you couldn't have really played defense any better, too. Wayzata did a nice job shutting those driving lanes down. That's just the problem. Champlin spreads you out. They have so many different matchups. And when they have that much space and you're aligned with shooters, you can't overhelp. It's hard to defend.
Suwata will come in. Lindbergh coming out here for the Trojans. Marty Hill getting set to come back in for the shooter right. And Wright makes a pair. 54-38 Champlin Park, and John and Hill come back into the lineup here for Champlin Park. $9:15 to go. Benega out to Galinsky, looking to attack. Slater driving into the middle. Gibson nearly had the steal. They'll kick it around baseline. Benega floating it over John, and good.
Yeah, and you see the difference there. He was quick, but he took his time on that finish. And that's a tough floater over the 6'8" athletic John, who's had a number of big-time blocks coming at you, too.
He had some practice the other night getting one over Reed Nico like that off the glass from Maple Grove. Another great shot blocker. Here's Jeremy Johnson short with that. Slater rebounds for Wayzata. Up the sideline, Baumgartner launching a three, but no.
Yeah, you know, he's shot the ball well tonight. That's a tough shot, 1-on-4 in transition. No one there to be able to offensive rebound. That's a shot you can get any time in the possession.
Johnson kicking it over. Well, they elect not to shoot here. Now Jeremy Johnson. Little fade away, no good. Galinsky rebounding for Wayzata. Benega fires, no good. Slater fighting hard for the rebound, then loses it, and Hill will come out of there with it as they're in a big pile up on the floor. Ahead to Jeremy Johnson for the layup.
Well, everyone else is in a pile-up. Champlin Park is attacking. It's like a horse race. They can see that ball, they see blood. And they know to sprint those lanes. They know they're going to get rewarded.
Benega launching a three from the top, won't go. Gibson kicking it over, Kleppner open, and in and out. I think both teams have a few guys getting a little bit winded right now as they've gone back and forth. Here's Suwata coming out to get it. Tough shot on the baseline, he makes it.
Yeah, nice timeout too by Coach Leather. You know, that's really Suwata's first time we've really seen him be aggressive and attack the basket. I think that's ultimately going to be the difference, is that Champlin can get easy baskets. They have so many different matchups that they can win. Wayzata really has to work to get shots out, but that was just a beautiful move by Suwata.
Let's go over now to John Jacobson.
Well, Jay, now, you know, you and Ryan have great seats right there at courtside, but look around this gym, and we've done games here for over a decade now. In the section final, I talked to Paul Gustafson, the retired athletic director here at Rogers, who said this is the biggest crowd we've ever had here tonight. Officially, our capacity, he said, is 4,000. I bet we have 4,500 in here tonight, and we had to turn away 500 at the door. Back to you.
Thanks very much, John. And there's no doubt, you look down to the baseline and there are kids sitting. I mean, it's a great crowd on hand here tonight, and glad to see everybody so excited about it. Obviously, Champlin Park's had this phenomenal year, and for Wayzata, it's kind of a new thing to be in this spot too. So you know there's excitement both ways. There's Hill hitting it. Three-pointer.
Yeah, and just such a tough set to run. When you have JT Gibson coming off a high ball screen, he turns the corner. You have to rotate in and help. Makes the unselfish play, and Marty Hill buries a three. Just great offense.
Slater kicking it over to Suwata. Plavacek back in there now as he drives it. Suwata, one-hander on the baseline is good.
Yeah, those last two possessions, Suwata just said, I'm going to get to a spot and rise up and shoot, and he's buried it, but great offense.
In and out for Gibson, and Sawada wins the fight for the rebound. Lindbergh stepping back. They are launching a lot of threes right now, some going, some not.
Well, and another difference is Tuesday night against Maple Grove, they were driving and kicking, so shots were coming in rhythm. That time we've seen a number of shots that are forced in transition with a guy right in their face, off balance, fading away. Those are different kinds of shots. Wayzata is such a good shooting team, but they got to do it in rhythm and in where they're driving and kicking. The problem is they're not beating their man one-on-one, so they're not drawing any help. You're not getting a lot of open looks.
Wright gives it over to Gibson. Jonathan Johnson lobbing to John, who was fouled by Lawaji.
But Jonathan finally saw that John had the matchup. That was a great pass, but that was even a better catch. Theo John had his right hand held, able to go up with his left hand, catch it, and gather, and go right at the rim. Theo John is much improved than when we saw him earlier in the year.
No good on the free throw.
Of course, right as I say that, misses the free throw. Come on, Theo, you got to make me look good. Theo John, a much improved free throw shooter than he was earlier in the year. Theo!
Misses a pair, Lawaji the rebound. 5.5 to go in the game here. Champlin Park up by 15. It's kind of now or never for Wayzata if they're going to chip back and get into this one. Sawada launching a three. No good there. John, another board.
And nice fade screen. That was Sawada's really first clean look at a three. He just didn't quite get it to fall. But you're right, down 15, 5 minutes left. Wayzata's got to make a run here and get some stops.
Baumgartner sees an opening and draws a foul.
You know, at some point, too, Wayzata's going to have to change what they're doing defensively. Baumgartner's had a nice game. Did a great job going right into the body of Theo John. But you're going to wonder, too, if they're going to start pressing, maybe trying to trap, trying to create turnovers to get some extra possessions to get back in this game.
Problem is, I have to believe that wouldn't work very well. You're right, though. You have to think about trying something, but against this team, I have a feeling they wouldn't probably succeed very well with that. Baumgartner makes a pair, 59-46. Here is Hill. Missed with the left hand, Lawaji rebounds. Benninga pushing it. Stops and pops, and hits.
I like what he did there. He gathered himself. He got his feet set, was able to look at the rim, did not rush that shot. You know, and if there's a criticism of Champlin, it's that they play so hard and so fast that it's hard for them sometimes to slow down when they do get leads. As you can see, a couple of quick shots.
Gibson the miss. Push back the other way, and it rolls out for Baumgartner. Timeout, Champlin Park.
I like the timeout, too.
I think Coach Tucksher realizing that, you know, you don't want to, I don't think you want to tell your kids to pull the air out of the ball or anything like that, but they're taking a couple of quick shots are okay if they're really good wide open shots, but those weren't necessarily.
What I expect Champlin to do is to go back into that four-corner offense that they were doing, spread the ball, try to take some time off. They'll be able to dribble handoff. But they're not going to, it's not a stall technique. It's more just get a matchup we like and beat your guy. If you can get all the way in for a layup, great. If not, pull it back out and keep redoing that. And they've had a lot of success doing that because they have so many good guards that are hard to stay in front of.
I think Wayzata's gotten a little more aggressive defensively too, knowing that they're, you know, it's kind of nothing to lose at this point.
Yeah, at this point, too, I mean, see if you get a Wayzata to look to trap a first pass, try to get something different to catch Champlin out of rhythm. And they've done a nice job. They forced a couple of quick shots, able to get the rebound. Now you're just at a point where you don't have room for error. You got to get stops, and, of course, you got to score on the other end. You got to do it multiple times over and over. And that's not an easy thing to do against the #1 team in the state.
They have been doing a nice job defensive rebounding, too. A lot of these recent misses have been 1 and out.
And I'll say, too, I think Champlin's underrated in their defensive rebounding. Wayzata has not had hardly any second chance opportunities tonight.
They are looking to trap a little bit here in the half court. Gibson down the lane, over to John. He'll shoot the short jumper, and he hits.
I think that's a shot Coach Snettler would love to say, hey, we'll give you that one. If he's hitting those kind of shots.
Benninga going to the hoop. This could be a goaltend, perhaps.
They're not even talking about it. I agree. That was a foul, and that looked to be on the way down, too. See if we can see whether or not that ball was on the way down. Whew.
Gibson will be called for using the forearm into Benninga. Free throw, no good.
And this is where Wayzata's talking right now after a made free throw, maybe get some type of full court, try to get another turnover. The only problem is Champlin's so quick, they can take a made free throw and turn it into 2 points in about 2 seconds.
Free throw is good, so 12-point game again, 61-49. Right, lost it almost to Benninga, who tried to save that and fell into the garbage cans there. Good effort.
Great effort. He's got quick hands. I mean, we've talked about how quick Champlin is all night long. Johnny Benninga's as quick as they come, too.
John giving it back to Gibson. It wouldn't roll. And Sawada out of there with it for Wayzata. Benninga will give it over to Sawada. Lindbergh coming to the top. 3:15 to go. They're down a dozen. Sawada fade away from the corner. Not a good shot. I mean, he really didn't have his feet under him. But there'll be a foul call going against Champlin Park. And Jeremy Johnson will pick up his third.
Yeah, neither team close to being in the bonus either. That time a rare offensive rebound for Wayzata.
Slater comes to get it. Now Benninga chased out. Lindbergh drives to the baseline, stops, fires, and hits.
What a tough shot, too. He drove hard baseline, able to get a little bit of a step back, which created some space, able to get that shot off. Beautiful move.
Wayzata fighting back to within 10, 2:45 to go. Hill, nice crossover, and then dishes. Here's John for another dunk.
Yeah, Hill beat his man. Jack Sawada's got to drop down and take that easy pass away. Oh, nice
and
move.
Baumgartner got that one around John for the layup.
Well, quick move, and how about left hand and the arc on it to get it over the high-flying Theo John.
Timeout, Mark Tucksher on the Rebels side. 2:12 to play. Champlin Park by 10. They've never really, lost control of the game, but Wayzata is fighting back and at least, making it not over yet.
Yeah. Well, that's Champlin offense right there. You spread it out, beat your initial defender. Theo John, always in position, it seems like, to catch and dunk. What I'm saying is there's got to be a defender out on that three-point line that sees that and comes down and takes that pass away so that when the person that's penetrating passes, it's got to be out to the perimeter and taking away that easy dunk. Another thing, Wayzata's not in a position right now where they can afford to trade baskets. It's got to be stops and scores, stops and scores. Another thing they might want to think about too, they only have 4 team fouls, is getting a couple of quick, easy fouls here so they're in a position to get into the bonus.
Hill inbounding, gets it to Gibson. And Baumgartner was trying to do just that and get a piece of him. They didn't get the call, though. And now we get the foul.
Yeah, Wayzata's trapping those passes. They got to get someone rotating up to take the easy pass away and force Champlin either calling a timeout or throwing some type of skip pass where you can play the passing lanes and get a turnover.
That was the 5th, so they Need another foul to take right here, and that's what will happen as Baumgartner. So that was the 6th. Exactly 2 minutes to go here. Not guarding the inbounder here. And they will foul John right away as Louwagie picks it up.
Well, it's a smart foul. Theo John, not a great free throw shooter. That was perfect. Took about a second off the clock, off that inbound. Fouled the guy you want to go to the free throw line. Good execution defensively for Wayzata.
Slater comes back in. That was Louwagie's 4th. Free throw is good. He's generally does the opposite of what you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
And misses though on the 2nd. Slater grabs the rebound. So it's an 11-point game. Benega driving with the floater, in and out. Nice board by Hill, and here they come.
Well, that shot by Benega sums up his game. Makes a great move, attacks, ball just rims in and out. Champlin Park aggressively still putting the foot on the gas, able to penetrate him in a Marty Hill bucket.
Slater for 3, that's an air ball. Wright trying to break out of there, but he was grabbed and will go to the free throw line, and that might have been Wayzata's last hurrah here, down by 13.
Austin Slater, he can knock that shot down. He just has to get his legs. That was all arms, and he rushed that. I think if Wayzata's going to look back on this game, one of their biggest strengths tonight was their size, and I think they got away from using that going down low. Slater, more of a perimeter big fella, and just wasn't able to get some good looks tonight.
I think that might have been a little bit of a tired shot too. Didn't have a lot of legs into it seemed like. 14-point lead for Champlin Park. Some of this giant crowd starting to file out here. Second one also good. So the Rebels lead it by 15, looking to make their 3rd state tournament appearance. Benninga's reverse try will not go, and here come the Rebels. McKinley Wright, all the way for 2.
All the way for 2, might have got away with a little bit of a walk, but again, taking a miss shot and turn it in. 2 points is quicker than any team in the state.
Slater will get the hoop to go, plus a foul.
And I'm sure Wayzata fans are wondering, where was that earlier in the game? That's a play he can make. 6'8", he can handle the ball, and he's got to play strong down by the rim, and he does that. They're a much different team offensively.
Plavacek getting set to come in, but he'll report in for the shooter, Slater. Free throw is good. Slater out, Plavacek in, so 70-56 here, Champlin Park. 1:06 remaining in our section championship. And batted around the steal. Benninga from the corner, that's good, and then a quick timeout.
Well, he couldn't ask for anything better there. A quick turnover over to Johnny Benninga, who finally knocks down a perimeter shot. Good for him. He's played hard all night long, just has had a tough time getting shots to fall. And 11 points with 50, still enough time. I mean, we've seen some crazier things happen before. This is where just execution, getting a quick foul, knowing who to foul, and you gotta have a few things go your way, a couple of missed free throws.
Courtesies, finish strong, we have timeouts if you need it. Go, JT,
Important, I think, really for both teams too, to be in this situation, playing it out to the end. For Champlin Park in the state tournament, they're going to be glad that they had to go through these late game things, I think, a little bit. And for Wayzata, looking like they're going to not end up, getting time to come back in this one. But obviously, they've got their entire team back. Would not be a surprise at all to see them back in a spot like this next year.
Yeah, you're right. They got further than I think most people had for them as far as expectations this year. But you're always building for the future. You got a lot of sophomores and juniors. Don't have a senior on your team. This is a great learning experience. To get this close, to lose to a very good team, these kids will take this in the summer and they know what to expect. Next year, they're going to come back very, very confident.
Wayzata won 8 games last year. They've won 21 this season. Benning picks up the foul.
You know, too, we've seen a number of the top teams in the state. And I do feel this. You never know who's actually going to win because not every team plays their best, certain matchups. But I do feel if Champlin Park plays their best, that they should run the table, that they can beat any team. They've proven it all year long. Just the depth they have, the balance they have, the athleticism they have, and their ability to drive and kick, and they're unselfish. They can shoot the ball. And to Theo John, his defense, you know, they have that presence underneath, does wonders for them. I think they're a complete team.
71-59 Rebels. Hill looking to add another. Second free throw also good. So 70. And that one is good. Benning knocking down another one, and they will keep on coming here. Try and extend this much as they can.
Well, Coach Schnettler taking it as a learning opportunity too, playing it all the way to the end. You're teaching your kids that we compete till the end, everything we do. Unfortunately, Benega, who's gotten it going here the last couple minutes down the stretch, just could not find it earlier in the game. Those are shots, same shots he was getting in the first half. I think he's just slowing it down a little bit, taking a little bit more time on his release, and he's been able to hit them.
Champlin Park, I don't think would be a stretch at all to say that they'll be the #1 seed. I can't imagine any scenario where they wouldn't be.
I was just going to talk about that. Do they seed the 8 state tournament teams, or is it a random
The top
draw?
5, yeah, the top 5 are seeded. So they should, without a doubt, be the #1 seed. Not only just undefeated, but they've also beat Apple Valley and Hopkins.
yeah.
So, you know, I would have a hard time believing anybody would make an argument they shouldn't be the #1 seed.
Yeah, it should be a fun state tournament in general. I think there's a lot of good teams. I think outside of Champlin Park, I don't know if anyone's a great team. But it's called March Madness for a reason, Jay. Anything can happen.
I think you could maybe make an argument for Apple Valley being in that great category. The Rebels really had a good run with them up in St. Cloud. Here's Wright down the sideline, and he is held. We'll get a foul call on Jack Sawada of Wayzata.
Well, not to forget, too, Champlin played Hopkins prior to, or was it in that game when Coffey got hurt? That was early on in the year, and that was only a 4-point game. The Apple Valley game was close, too. So, no, you're right. It should be a fun tournament. Of course, Coach Novak here scouting for Hopkins.
Wright's free throw is good.
You know, give Champlin credit too. They've made their free throws down the stretch. They've done a great job of hitting free throws. We've seen games where teams miss free throws, allow other teams to get back into it. Not happening tonight with Champlin Park.
Wright has really had a gutsy performance after that ankle injury here. 74-61 Rebels. Sawada blocked out top by Jeremy Johnson. They tried to get Gibson a layup, but Benninga comes back to steal it. Under 35 to go, 13-point game. Benninga will stop and fire too strong with that. Knocked around, Lindbergh winds up with it, gets it to Slater, layup good. They want to take the quick foul and now will.
I don't think they wanted to get JT Gibson a layup. They want to get a dunk to bring this house down and get the Rebel fans out of their seats.
So Hill to the free throw line. Now into the double bonus. 2 free throws upcoming. Wayzata's going to clear the bench here as Hill's free throw is good. So the Trojans will get their guys a hand from the crowd as they'll make wholesale changes here. Brendan Brody, number 3, comes in. 35, Joe Lauer. Number 30, Connor Schmidt. And Hill's second free throw also good. Also, Cody Gutters, number 45, has come in for Wayzata. And Brady Galbraith, number 25, handling the ball right here for the Trojans. Little pull-up jumper off target. Hill will grab the rebound. The Rebels are going to celebrate a section championship. They are 29-0. Champlin Park wins it 76-63.
Well, congratulations to Champlin Park. You're perfect all year long. Perfect going into the state tournament. Last loss was on this very court. What a great way to redeem yourself by winning this section tournament. I'll tell you, in all the great things that have happened in my life, winning the section tournament and getting to the state tournament are some of the best memories. These kids deserve it, and they got such a good team. And again, hats off to Wayzata on a remarkable run here into the postseason, making it all the way to the section finals as well.
Let's go over now to John Jacobson with a happy Rebel or two.
All right, thanks very much, Jay, with JT Gibson, McKinley Wright. JT, talk about tonight and what this meant to you. I know you've looked at this night for 1 year.
This is a big game for us. You know, we failed last year at this time of year, so we came to this game. We were winning the game today. We want to win the state championships. That was our mentality today.
Wayzata got it down to 7 points at halftime. What was your feeling at halftime?
We didn't really play great in the first half. You know, we weren't making shots. Some of our key players were in foul trouble, so we weren't worried at all. We weren't rattled. We just played hard the second half.
Theo, John, both your sophomores really had big games tonight. How important were they to your success?
Well, that was great. You know, they're young and they're still learning. They're coming up really strong for us, and you know, they played big today. And now it's key for us to win.
Your defense in the second half, I thought, was outstanding. Did you guys really make a conscious effort after halftime to buckle down on them?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, they really good three-point shooting team, so we made an effort to close out really hard.
Congratulations. We'll see you next week at state. McKinley Wright, I know you hadn't played last game and got hurt against Cooper. How are you feeling coming into tonight, and how did you feel you'd be able to operate out here?
I'm feeling a lot better. You know, my adrenaline kicked in, and I started going to stop worrying about it. First half, I was kind of tensy on it, but, you know, my coach told me to stay aggressive, and I stayed aggressive, and it's feeling a lot better.
I know you guys were confident, but how nervous were you? I mean, you guys kind of have all the pressure, the #1 seed, the unbeaten team. How did you feel?
We don't let that get to us. We work hard every day, trying to get a W, trying to get to the state championship. That's what we want. That's our goal. That's what we work hard for every day.
You got the first step. Now you're on to the state tournament. What's it take to get 3 more wins?
We just got to keep working hard, That's all.
Congratulations on tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Jay and Ryan, back to you.
Thanks very much, John, and thanks and congratulations to McKinley Wright and JT Gibson and all of their teammates as well here. And they played some great basketball all season long, and tonight they showed again why they are ranked #1, why they're unbeaten.
Well, just the depth, the quickness, the athleticism, just remarkable.
Let's go back over to John now.
All right, Coach Tuckshore, congratulations. First of all, what does it mean to you to be back to state for the first time in 5 years?
It's great. You know, it's only been 5 years, but it seems like a long time. Our boys have been playing good in our program here the last, well, a lot of years our team has been playing hard, and we've been in a tough section, and it's finally good to be back.
I know every team is special. I know you felt really special about this group of guys, this group of seniors, the 6 guys grew up playing basketball together and now rewarded with a trip to state, right?
Outstanding group of seniors, no question about it. 6 guys that grew up together, playing together, like you said, and you know, they have fun together. They compete together, they hold each other accountable. They want to win, and they want to win the right way, and tonight they grinded it out and got it done.
Some of your fans were here as early as 4:30. How much has that fan support meant to your kids?
It's outstanding. The CP6 men are outstanding. You can see this, they're right here. Great fans, you know, they're here to support their buddies. They grew up with them also, you know, and they're really proud of us, and that's a good thing. We're proud of them.
State tournament preparation, what goes into what you do between now and Wednesday?
There's a lot. You know, we got a seating meeting at 7:15 in the morning, and a lot of planning and a lot of preparing for our first opponent. That's most important now. So,
congratulations. Good luck in the state.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Jay and Ryan, back to you.
Thank you very much, John, and congratulations to Coach Tuckshore. And that's the thing, you know, a lot goes into this, as he said, getting ready for state. A lot goes into preparing a team like this. Obviously, the players have to do it out on the court, but not only Mark, but the rest of his staff have done a great job working with the guys too.
Yeah, but you talk about it. It's that fine line. You got to prepare for your first opponent, that you also are preparing for who your semifinal and then who the final is. But you don't want to look too far ahead, so it's that fine line of being confident, doing what you do well, but also, there's little tweaks to your systems and your defense, who you're going to cover, all that kind of stuff, how you're going to defend. So it's a lot of work. It's just beginning. They got an early section meeting, seeding meeting tomorrow. But I think if they do what they do well and play well, they control their own destiny.
Yeah, what's up with that 7:15 meeting? Couldn't you push her back a little bit? So a lot of the teams are playing tonight.
We're going to reward you a late game on Friday night, your celebration with a 7:15 Saturday morning meeting.
Plenty of adrenaline, though, certainly. So the Rebels getting their section championship medals, and obviously, you don't like to dwell on the past, but they were on the other side of this last year, watching Osseo celebrate, and that drives you in the off season when you're in the gym and you're taking jumpers. That memory drives you a little bit, I think.
It absolutely does. You think of all the great teams, especially in like the NBA. The Bulls had to go through the Pistons. The Pistons had to go through the Celtics. Sometimes big-time losses, it makes you dig deeper. It makes you work harder in the offseason. And I think Champlin thought they were the better team last year against Osseo and deserved to win that game. And it stuck with those then juniors, now seniors. And they've been on a mission. And you know how hard it is, too, Jay? Even if you are the best team on a Tuesday night on the road where the game might not matter, to bring it every single night, to be undefeated, to have that chip on your shoulder, that pressure, to get it through it, it's a great feeling. And they're this close now, and I can guarantee none of it's going to mean anything unless they're able to finish the deal, because this team expects to win a state championship.
That's a good point about how they've dealt with that all season long. After they beat Apple Valley, they moved into #1, and every night out, they've had pressure on them. They've had people wanting to doubt them and think, you're not as impressive as what your record is or whatever. But they've stuck, played well despite that all season.
Well, think about, they had a Tuesday night road game against Armstrong, who's in the other division of the Northwest Suburban. And for Armstrong, they had just gotten into the top 5, I think, and they were fired up, and they had a double-digit lead. How easy would it have been for Champlin to say, well, this game doesn't even count in our conference because it's the other side. So what if we lose? Instead, they called timeouts. They approached it like it meant the world. They battle back. They win that game. And those little battles, those little victories along the way, I think build you to who you are if you're going to be a championship caliber team.
And for Wayzata, we talked about how they are, no seniors on this team, and a great experience. They may be savoring this and getting ready for next year as the Rebels captains are lifting the section championship trophy. And what a night for Champlin Park basketball, their fans, their coaches, and most of all their players, as they will be headed to the 2015 state tournament. And again, hats off to Mark Tucksher, his staff, and all of the Rebels players. What a night of basketball here at Rogers. Great crowd. Hope you've enjoyed this one live here on 12 Sports. As once again, our final in this one is Champlin Park 76 and Wayzata 73. Congratulations to the Rebels as they head to state. Good night from Rogers High School.